Welcome back. We are now going to assign data types. So I'm going to right click the student data and I'll click design view. So I'll first set the primary key. We talked of the primary key and we said the primary key is the unique identifier in a database. In a school, you can have students with the same names. You can have 3 or 4 students with the same names. But how do we identify these students to make them unique? So to make these students unique, each one unique, different from another one in the database, we usually give what we call a student ID or a student number. So that student ID becomes now the primary key. That's, you see, usually a primary key, when you are assigning data types, it has that key which you see there. So we are going to call the first one student ID. Again, you see my naming, I'm not putting any space between the words. So that is the field name, student ID. And the data type we are going to assign is an auto number. Auto number means the system will generate the number, the ID automatically. It's not a user to enter it. So that one we are going to leave it at auto number. When you look at a drop-down arrow, there are a number of data types to choose from. So data type specifies which type of data is going to be entered into that field. So for the student ID, we leave it at that. Then we can put a description, which is optional. You may put, you may not put. But I can put a description because I'm not the one who's going to use this database. So I can help the users to know what to put there. So I'm going to put leave the system to generate automatic student ID. So when I come to the second field here, now the second field I wanted to capture the last name. So when I come here, that last name I want it to be a short text. Field size, I don't want any name which exceeds 12 characters. So I'm going to put 12 there and I'll press enter. So if anyone enters a name that exceeds 12 characters, it will not accept it. So I'm going to put a description, enter, last name, but should not exceed 12 characters. Then first name, again, as you see, I don't put any spaces between. Again, I choose a short text. Also, now first name, I'm going to limit it to 10 characters. So enter first name, but not more than 10 characters. Then the date of birth for the student. Now, anytime you talk of a date, the data type should be date stroke time. Then under the format down here, we choose the type of date which we need. I'm going to choose a general date. I'm not going to put any description because this is obvious, date of birth. Okay, because it is DOB, I can put date of birth. Okay. Then I'm going to also put the fees this person pays. So fees is to do with the money. So any data type expected to do with the money, we choose currency. Currency. down here, I want this currency to be in Ugandan shillings. So I'll put UGX, then a hash, comma, then 3 hashes. Then I press enter. So this one makes it a Ugandan currency. Then deposit. We want to know how much this person has deposited. Again, deposit is a currency because it has to do with the money. Again, I want it in Ugandan shillings. So I put UGX, hash, comma, then 3 hashes. Now the balance. Balance. This one should be a calculated field. We want to calculate fees minus deposit, then we get a balance. So the data type expected here should be a calculated field, which is calculated automatically. So it brings a wizard whereby we are going to create a calculation. So we shall use the square bracket and we say fees. Remember, the spelling must be exactly the same. So we shall have fees. We are using square brackets. Fees minus. So fees minus deposit. So we are saying fees minus deposit, then we shall have the balance. Then we shall say OK. Format. Now I want to put also the gender. I forgot the gender here. So if you forgot a field, you can click back. Then you can say insert rows. Okay, then I have gender. Now gender, I want the users to choose from male or female. So the data type there, because I want to make a choice, will be lookup wizard. So I will say I will not type in the text. I will type in myself and next. So I have female and I have male. Then next. Finish. So after that, I'm going to save my data types. So Ctrl S to save. See, fees, I made a mistake. So I have to go back and correct that. It will always tell you that it's in the calculated field. So when you look at fees there, correct it. So that is corrected. Now I can save. After I go back to the data sheet view. So as you can see now, I have been able to name the columns or the fields. So this is what comes out of our table. So the next step will be to create a form that we are going to use, enter data into this table, and we shall be using that form to enter data into our database. So our database is ready to accept data. If you see this is not changing, you can still come back to the design view. Then you come to currency. Then you can change it. UGX hash, comma, hash, hash, hash. Save. Then go back to data sheet view. So as you see, it has changed. You can do the same for deposit. Okay, we meet in the next video as we create forms, which forms we are going to use to enter data into our database.